Nobody worries about the person who's always okay. That's the whole problem. There's a specific type of person who moves through life without ever making their pain visible. They don't complain about the hard things. They don't complain about the small things. When something breaks inside them, they absorb it, file it somewhere deep, and keep moving in a way that makes everyone around them feel like there's nothing to worry about. And the most unsettling part, they've done it so long they've started to believe it themselves. This isn't strength, it's a system. One that was built in childhood, refined through years of quiet survival, and now runs so automatically they don't even know it's on. Once you understand how it was built, you'll never look at a calm person the same way again. It starts early, and it almost never starts with something dramatic. Most of the time it's a parent who is overwhelmed, always stressed, always one bad day away from breaking. The child learned to read the room before they learned to read. They understood, without anyone telling them, that adding their pain to the pile felt wrong. So they stopped. They got quiet. They handled things alone. And the world rewarded them for it. Adults called them mature. Teachers called them easy. The people around them exhaled when they walked in because here was someone who wasn't going to be a problem. And buried inside all that relief and praise was a message that lodged somewhere deep. Being easy is what makes you worth keeping. That message never left. It just grew up with them. Watch this person when something goes wrong. Not a crisis, just an ordinary hard thing. A disappointment, a slow accumulation of stress that's been building for months. Someone asks how they're doing. They say, "I'm fine." They say, "It's not that bad." They say other people have it worse, and they mean it because they've become so skilled at contextualizing their own pain into irrelevance that they genuinely can't locate it anymore. They don't experience it as suppression. They experience it as perspective. But it's not perspective. It's distance. There's a difference. Perspective means you can see your pain clearly and still function. Distance means you've learned to stand so far from your own experience that it stops feeling like yours. One is a skill. The other is a wound that learned to look like a skill. This person apologizes constantly, before anyone's upset, before anyone's even noticed. They apologize for taking up space in a conversation, for asking a question, for existing in a way that might inconvenience someone else. It looks like excessive politeness. It's not. Psychologists call it the fawn response. It's what happens when the nervous system learns that the safest way to maintain connection is to manage other people's emotional states before they escalate. The person stops asking what they need and starts scanning, always scanning for what everyone else needs. It becomes so automatic they lose access to their own preferences. Ask them where they want to eat and they'll genuinely struggle to answer, not because they're indecisive, because they trained themselves out of having wants. They made themselves easy to love by making themselves hard to know. But here's where everything shifts. Most people assume the person who never complains is the strongest one in the room, and they are in the way that a dam is strong, holding everything back. Walls thick enough that nothing leaks through, nothing shows, nothing worries anyone. But a dam isn't strong because it's okay. It's strong because it has no other option. That's not the same thing. And the distance between those two things is where this person has been living their entire life, performing okayness so consistently that even they can't find the seam between the performance and the truth anymore. They're not unbothered, they're just completely alone with their bother. The loneliness this creates is a specific kind, not the loneliness of being isolated. This person is often surrounded by people who love them. It's the loneliness of being loved for the version of yourself you built, so people would stay. They let people close, just not that close. When someone actually notices something is off and doesn't accept the deflection, something uncomfortable happens. A joke, a subject change, a question redirected back at the other person with a precision that looks like genuine interest, but is actually a controlled exit. Because if someone sees them clearly and still leaves, that's a loss they can't file away, can't contextualize, can't survive with the same system they've been running. So they manage the depth, keep everyone at a level that feels like intimacy but stops just short of it. They trained the people who love them not to look too hard, and then spent years feeling like no one really knew them. Both of those things are true at the same time. That's what makes it a trap. What accumulates over years of this is something that doesn't have a clean name. It's not depression, exactly. Not loneliness, exactly. It's more like a slow interior exhaustion, from the constant work of being fine, from being the stable one, the one who picks up the phone, the one everyone brings their wreckage to, never realizing, because why would they? Nothing is ever signaled, that nobody ever asks what this person carries. Not because the people in their life don't care, because this person made themselves unaskable. And here's the thing nobody talks about: they don't resent the people who never ask. They resent themselves for building something so airtight that even the people who wanted to reach them couldn't find the door. For being so good at surviving alone that they accidentally made alone permanent. They didn't just hide their pain from other people. They hid the fact that they were hiding it. The silence was never peace. It was the sound of someone who learned very young that their pain was inconvenient. Too much or not enough or simply not the right time. So they folded it, put it somewhere, kept it there so long it started to feel like it wasn't theirs anymore. The ones who never complain are not the ones who have nothing to complain about. They're the ones who decided a long time ago that nobody wanted to hear it. And the saddest part isn't that they were wrong. It's that they never got to find out. That's what the silence actually costs. Not relief, not strength, just the truth, never told. To anyone, including themselves.